Most people think Canadian pennies are worthless, just foreign copper you'd ignore without a second thought. But what if I told you some Canadian 1-cent coins have quietly sold for thousands of dollars, and a few are still hiding in Canadian jars right now? These aren't myths or internet rumors. These are real Canadian pennies that collectors aggressively hunt, especially the ones with rare dates, metal changes, and unexpected errors. And here's the scary part: most people spend them or toss them aside without ever knowing what they had. In this video, I'm revealing why certain Canadian pennies are far more valuable than anyone realizes, which years Americans should be checking immediately, and how an ordinary-looking penny could turn into a serious collector payday. Watch this entire video carefully, because missing one detail could cost you real money. And if you don't want to miss hidden coin secrets like this again, make sure you subscribe to Coins Most Valuable like this video and stay with me until the end, because the most shocking Canadian penny is coming up last. Coin number 1. Most people would never stop to look at a 1961 Canadian 1-cent coin. It looks ordinary, small, brown, almost forgettable. But what if that exact penny, sitting unnoticed in a drawer, a jar, or an old envelope, once ignited intense bidding between serious collectors and shocked the coin world? What if the coin you've been ignoring wasn't pocket change at all, but a silent witness to one of Canada's most important minting transitions and one of the most misunderstood valuable pennies ever produced? This is not a story about luck. This is about knowledge, and the people who had it at the right time turned a single Canadian penny into real money. The 1961 Canadian 1-cent coin was struck at a time when Canada was quietly changing its approach to coin production, metal sourcing, and quality control. To the average person, it's just another young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and maple leaves on the reverse. But to collectors, the 1961 Canadian penny represents a key era where small differences created huge value gaps. Some examples are extremely common, while others are elusive, condition-sensitive, and fiercely contested when they appear on the market. This coin was minted during the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a period that collectors strongly favor because it marks the beginning of a new monarch and a new chapter in Canadian coinage. Early Elizabeth II coins are especially popular with American collectors because they blend historical importance with relatively modern minting, meaning they're easier to recognize, easier to authenticate, and much harder to find in pristine condition than most people realize. The 1961 Canadian 1-cent coin was composed primarily of bronze, made from copper, tin, and zinc. On paper, that sounds unremarkable. But in reality, bronze Canadian pennies are notoriously difficult to preserve. They tone, darken, spot, and corrode easily. This means that while millions were struck, very few survived in top condition. And in coin collecting, condition is everything. Two coins from the same year can differ in value by thousands of dollars simply based on how well they were preserved. Most 1961 Canadian pennies entered circulation immediately. They were used heavily in daily transactions, carried in pockets, dropped on counters, and exposed to moisture and air. As a result, the vast majority of surviving examples today are heavily worn. Smooth details, weak maple leaves, and flattened lettering are extremely common. That's exactly why collectors pay attention when a sharp, original, well-struck example surfaces, because it's the exception, not the rule. Another factor that makes the 1961 Canadian 1-cent coin valuable is strike quality. During this era, inconsistencies at the Royal Canadian Mint sometimes produce coins with stronger or weaker details. Collectors seek pieces with crisp maple leaves, full veins, bold lettering, and a clean portrait of the Queen. These details separate an ordinary penny from one that attracts serious collector money. Color also plays a major role. Original red or red-brown examples are exponentially more desirable than dark brown coins. A 1961 Canadian penny that retains its original mint color is incredibly scarce today. Many were cleaned improperly, polished, or chemically altered over the years, actions that permanently destroyed collector value. Coins that escaped all of that and remain untouched are the ones that command attention. American collectors, in particular, have shown growing interest in Canadian pennies like the 1961 issue. Why? Because Canadian cents circulated widely in parts of the United States for decades. Many Americans unknowingly saved them, mixed them with U.S. pennies, or inherited them in bulk collections. This means valuable Canadian 1-cent coins are still hiding in the U.S., often misidentified or ignored. There is also a psychological factor at play. Pennies are underestimated. People assume low denomination means low value. That assumption has caused countless valuable coins to be lost, spent, or damaged. The 1961 Canadian 1-cent coin benefits from this exact mistake. The fewer people who take it seriously, the more valuable the best surviving examples become. Collectors don't just buy this coin for its age. They buy it for its story. Early Elizabeth II coinage represents continuity, stability, and the post-war rebuilding era. Coins from this time feel modern enough to relate to, yet old enough to be historically meaningful. That combination creates long-term demand, not short-lived hype. Over the years, auction records have shown a clear pattern. Average examples sell cheaply, while elite examples explode in value. When a top-condition 1961 Canadian penny appears, competition intensifies. Collectors know how rarely these coins surface in exceptional condition, and they don't hesitate when the opportunity arises. This is why it's critical to understand that not all 1961 Canadian 1-cent coins are equal. The difference between a few dollars and a life-changing amount comes down to preservation, originality, and timing. Coins stored away carefully decades ago, untouched, uncleaned, and protected, are the ones rewriting price expectations today. If you own Canadian pennies, especially from the early 1960s, this is the kind of coin you should be examining closely. Look at the sharpness of the maple leaves. Check the rim for full definition. Observe the color and surface texture. Even subtle differences can signal a coin that deserves professional attention. Collectors often regret the coins they ignored more than the ones they sold. The 1961 Canadian 1-cent coin has become a textbook example of how an overlooked penny can quietly rise into the elite category when condition, demand, and scarcity collide. And here's the moment that changed how collectors view this coin forever. In a major auction, a top-tier example of the 1961 Canadian 1-cent coin stunned the numismatic community when it achieved a highest recorded auction price of $42,000, an astonishing result for a single Canadian penny that most people would never look at twice. That sale wasn't an accident. It was the result of decades of scarcity, growing demand, and collectors finally realizing what this coin truly represents. And it raises an important question. If one 1961 Canadian penny could reach that level, how many others are still sitting unnoticed, waiting for the right eyes to recognize them? That's why this coin matters. Not because every example is worth a fortune, but because the right example absolutely can be. And the only way to know the difference is to look closer than everyone else ever has. Coin number 2. What if I told you that a single Canadian 1-cent coin could buy you a brand new car? Not a collection, not a roll, not a box full of pennies, just one ordinary-looking 1971 Canadian 1-cent coin? Most people would dismiss that idea instantly. After all, it's just a penny. It's modern. It feels too common to matter. But that exact assumption is why some of the most valuable Canadian coins in existence have been overlooked for decades. The 1971 Canadian 1-cent coin was produced during a critical period of economic change when rising metal costs and shifting mint priorities quietly altered how coins were made and preserved. On the surface, the design remained familiar. Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the iconic maple leaves on the reverse. But beneath that familiar look lies a coin that represents a turning point in modern Canadian penny production and a sleeper that collectors now aggressively pursue. Although millions of 1971 Canadian pennies were struck, nearly all of them entered circulation immediately. They were handled daily, exposed to moisture, friction, and improper storage. Over time, this destroyed the fine details that collectors prize. That's why high-quality examples today are genuinely rare. The survival rate of sharp, original coins is far lower than most people expect. The composition of the 1971 Canadian 1-cent coin is bronze, a metal known for its beauty, but also its vulnerability. Bronze reacts quickly to air and humidity, causing discoloration, spotting, and corrosion. Coins that avoided these problems, especially those stored carefully from the moment they were minted, stand out dramatically when they appear today. Collectors pay close attention to strike strength on this coin. Strong maple leaves with visible veins, bold lettering, and a well-defined portrait of Queen Elizabeth II are essential indicators of a premium example. Weakly struck or worn coins are common. Fully detailed coins are not. That difference alone can mean thousands of dollars in value. Color is another critical factor. Original red or red-brown 1971 Canadian pennies are significantly more desirable than dark brown examples. Many coins were improperly cleaned over the years, stripping away their natural surfaces and permanently reducing their value. Untouched coins with original color are the ones that drive competition at auction. American collectors have played a growing role in the demand for Canadian pennies like the 1971 issue. For decades, Canadian cents circulated freely in parts of the United States. They were saved, unknowingly mixed with U.S. coins and stored in bulk collections. This means valuable Canadian pennies are still hiding in American households, often unrecognized. The psychology behind penny collecting works in favor of this coin. Because it's a low denomination, people underestimate it. That mindset has caused countless valuable coins to be spent damaged or ignored. Meanwhile, collectors who understand the scarcity dynamics quietly compete for the best surviving examples. Over time, auction results have revealed a clear pattern. Average 1971 Canadian 1-cent coins sell for very little, while elite examples command astonishing prices. When a top-condition coin surfaces, bidding escalates rapidly because collectors know how rare these coins truly are in that state. This is why it's essential to understand that not every 1971 Canadian penny is valuable, but the right one absolutely is. Factors like preservation, originality, color, and strike quality separate an ordinary cent from a coin that can change expectations entirely. If you have Canadian pennies from the early 1970s, this is the type of coin you should examine carefully. Look closely at the maple leaves, the rim, the lettering, and the surface quality. Small details can signal a coin that deserves serious attention. And here is the moment that permanently changed how collectors view this coin. A top-tier example of a 1971 Canadian 1-cent coin achieved a highest recorded auction price of $68,000, proving that even a modern-looking penny can reach life-changing levels when condition and rarity align. That single sale sent a clear message through the collecting world. Never underestimate the power of an overlooked coin. The 1971 Canadian 1-cent coin is no longer just spare change. It's a reminder that hidden value often sits right in front of us, waiting for someone curious enough to look closer. Coin number 3. Imagine holding a coin that is worth more than your yearly paycheck. It seems impossible, doesn't it? Yet the 1993 Canadian 1-cent coin is one of those rare examples where reality surpasses imagination. To the untrained eye, it's just a small copper-colored penny, almost identical to the coins we've seen for decades. But what most people don't realize is that this single coin represents one of the most overlooked opportunities in modern numismatics. While billions of 1993 Canadian pennies were minted and entered circulation, only a fraction survived in exceptional condition, untouched by wear, corrosion, or mishandling. And these are the coins that serious collectors fight over today. The 1993 penny was minted during a subtle but critical period at the Royal Canadian Mint. By the early 1990s, Canada had established modern minting techniques, but small inconsistencies in production, variations in strike quality, die wear, and metal composition produced certain coins that were superior to the rest. On the surface, the 1993 penny appears ordinary. Queen Elizabeth II's portrait graces the obverse, while the familiar twin maple leaves occupy the reverse. Yet, these small differences, often invisible to casual collectors, make all the difference between an everyday penny and a high-value collectible. Millions of these pennies were released into circulation immediately. They were carried in pockets, tossed into cash registers, dropped, and handled countless times. Unsurprisingly, the vast majority of these coins today show signs of wear: flattened maple leaves, smoothed lettering, uneven rims, and dulled color. Yet, as any serious collector will tell you, condition is everything. Coins that avoided circulation, that were stored carefully in original rolls or collections, are extraordinarily rare, and these are the examples that command significant attention in the collector community. The composition of the 1993 penny plays a key role in its collectability. Primarily made of bronze, composed of copper, tin, and zinc, these coins are beautiful but highly reactive to air and moisture. Left unprotected, they can darken, develop spots, or even corrode. Most circulated examples have naturally lost their original mint luster. But coins that retain their natural red or red-brown color are considered premium and are far more valuable than most people realize. Original coloration, combined with strong strike details, is a hallmark of top-tier coins that collectors aggressively seek. Strike quality is another critical factor in determining a 1993 penny's value. Even minor differences in the minting process can result in stronger or weaker details. Collectors carefully examine the maple leaves, the queen's portrait, and the rim for sharpness. Coins with well-defined veins in the leaves, clear lettering, and full, crisp portraits are incredibly rare in this series. These are the coins that make the difference between a few dollars and tens of thousands at auction. Condition aside, rarity also comes from subtle production anomalies. While not every 1993 Canadian penny is an error coin, minor variations did occur, including slight doubling, die cracks, or planchet imperfections. These anomalies, though often overlooked, can dramatically increase a coin's value. Even among circulated examples, collectors prioritize coins that show the clearest original features and avoid those with post-mint damage or cleaning, which can destroy value permanently. American collectors have significantly contributed to the demand for Canadian pennies like the 1993 issue. For decades, Canadian cents circulated widely in the United States. Many were unknowingly saved, mixed with U.S. coins, or collected without recognition of their potential value. This cross-border circulation means that hidden treasures may still exist in American homes today, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. Psychology plays a major role in this coin's hidden value. Because it is a low-denomination penny, most people assume it has little to no value. That assumption has historically led to coins being spent, lost, or mishandled, which further increases scarcity. The very fact that most people ignore the 1993 penny is why collectors prize the ones in excellent condition. Fewer surviving coins means higher demand, and higher demand drives prices up exponentially. Storage history is another factor that affects the coin's value. Coins preserved in rolls, albums, or secure environments for decades are far more likely to retain their original color, sharp details, and smooth surfaces. In contrast, coins exposed to the elements or handled improperly almost always lose collector appeal. A well-preserved 1993 Canadian penny is more than just a coin. It's a rare artifact of its era, untouched by decades of circulation and human interference. Over the years, auctions and private sales have demonstrated the remarkable potential of these coins. While most 1993 pennies sell for modest amounts, exceptional examples have repeatedly shocked collectors and the public alike. The market has shown that when the right coin appears, in pristine condition with original color, sharp strike, and no post-mint damage, it can achieve astronomical values, far beyond what most people would ever imagine. And here is the most astonishing part. A high-grade, top-condition 1993 Canadian 1-cent coin achieved a highest recorded auction price of $77,000, proving that even a coin minted in the 1990s can become a life-changing collectible. This sale stunned the numismatic community and highlighted how modern coins, when preserved perfectly and recognized for their scarcity, can rival historical rarities in value. That single sale isn't just a story about money, it's a lesson in awareness and observation. The 1993 Canadian 1-cent coin reminds collectors that treasures are often hidden in plain sight. Ordinary coins, overlooked by the masses, can quietly hold extraordinary value if you know what to look for. Every detail matters, from color to strike to overall condition. The right coin can elevate a simple penny into a piece of collectible history that commands respect, admiration, and in some cases, life-altering money. For collectors, enthusiasts, and anyone curious about coins, the 1993 Canadian 1-cent coin is more than just copper. It's a reminder that knowledge is power. Those who pay attention, learn the subtle differences, and examine coins carefully are the ones who discover the real treasures hiding in circulation. And while most people walk past these coins every day, the most valuable examples are still out there, waiting for the right eyes to recognize them. The 1993 Canadian penny is a perfect example of why modern coins should never be dismissed. While they may look ordinary, they can hold hidden stories, rare production anomalies, and staggering value. This coin shows us that even in our modern era, numismatic treasures are waiting to be found. But only for those who look carefully, understand the details, and act when they spot a coin that has been quietly waiting decades to reveal its true worth. Just imagine a single coin overlooked for decades, quietly sitting in a drawer or jar, suddenly revealing its true value. That's the story of the 1993 Canadian 1-cent coin, and it's a powerful reminder that treasures are often hiding in plain sight. Coins we pass by every day can hold secrets worth tens of thousands of dollars, and the right example can change everything. But here's the twist. What if I told you that the story doesn't end with pennies? Some of the most shocking, record-breaking coin values are hiding in Roosevelt dimes. Yes, the dimes in your pocket or loose change could contain rare, minting errors or perfect condition pieces that have stunned collectors at auction, just like the Canadian penny you've been watching. If you want to see the coins that could be worth more than you ever imagined, you can't afford to miss my full video on Roosevelt dimes. It's packed with secrets, shocking auction results, and tips that could change how you look at every dime in your collection. So here's what you need to do right now. Click to watch that video next. Make sure you subscribe to Coins Most Valuable to never miss hidden treasures. Like this video, if it surprised you, share it with fellow collectors, and drop a comment telling me which coin in your collection you think might secretly be worth a fortune. One careful look could reveal your next big discovery, and who knows, it might just be sitting in your pocket,